Hi guys, this is Amir from Pleasant TV. So today I'm going to be talking about if you should upgrade from your kit lens to a prime lens. A prime lens that costs only $125 in Amazon and also in Canon itself. So let's start this video by saying that the kit lens that comes in with your camera is probably gonna be the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. This lens comes with most cameras. For example, I brought the T6 and my Canon T6 still works perfect and I still have it right here. And the same lens, which is the 18 to 15 millimeter, came with the Canon T6, which means that most likely if you buy a Canon camera, you're gonna get the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens with the camera. There's a difference between these 18 to 55 millimeter lenses that I got with my T6 and also the SL3. The SL3 I'm recording with right now, this is the lens that came in with my SL3. This one is 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, and this one is a STM. This is a silent motor, which means that it's gonna be very silent when it tracks your face. If you get close to the camera, if you get further from the camera, it's gonna be very silent and you won't hear this move. Like for real, you won't hear this move because this is very silent. And that's the reason why I switched from this lens. This lens is the 18 to 55 millimeter lens. The only problem with this lens is that this lens is not a silent lens. This lens takes a while to focus and also makes a sound which nobody wants to hear. Mostly if you're a YouTuber, nobody wants to hear. But if you take pictures, it's fine because, mostly if you take outside pictures like building pictures, like trees, like stuff like that, landscape, it's easier for you because you're gonna take the time to focus and get the right picture. So now I'm gonna just show you just a short example, or hopefully you can hear this, of how long it takes for the camera to focus and also the sound the lens makes. I hope you can hear that, guys. So it took a while to focus, but with this lens, the 18 to 55 millimeter, it doesn't take that long. And that's the difference between these two. I had to explain the difference between these lenses that I got with my T6 and my SL3. Now let's go back to this lens, the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, and the lens I'm recording with right now, the 50 millimeter prime lens. This lens is beautiful. I love this lens. If you guys haven't checked out my video from last week, go check it out because you're gonna see me using this Canon 50 millimeter. I did not say that I used it, but I actually did use it, and the camera was like 3 foot from me, but my face still looked so big. So now the camera is about 6 to 7 feet away from me. That's why you see this big wide lens. The lens is beautiful. I love this lens, but the only thing I hate about this lens is that if you're close, your face is gonna look so big, even with pictures. So make sure if you're taking a picture of somebody to back up and make sure that everything is in the frame and then take the picture. Or if you're recording something, make sure you in the frame and make sure it looks good. I have about 12 things that I have to say about the Canon 50 millimeter and also the 18 to 55 millimeters. So I'm gonna be explaining what the 50 millimeter got and also the exact thing that the 18 to 55 millimeter. Some stuff, are better and some stuff are not, So let's start. The first one is weight. They both are really light. So when I held this Canon 18 to 55 millimeter and I held the 50 millimeter lens, they both weigh the same. And I think it's because that 50 millimeter, the one that I'm recording with right now, has a metal plate on it. That's why the weight is, almost the same. I'm not gonna say it's the same. This one is bigger. That one is much smaller. That one is like half of this size, and also kind of weight a little bit less, not that much at all. Second is that the 50mm is a prime lens, and this one is a Canon kit lens, which means that prime lens are better with a lot more stuff that I'm gonna get into, and you should upgrade. And the name prime, at least means something. Third is that the 50mm is actually a 50mm, and it records 50mm with the full frame. Because I'm recording with a small frame camera, this camera actually chops another 1.6, I believe, so it's more closer. So it's not like 50mm, I believe it's like 55 to 60mm. But don't take my word for that, I'm not sure at all. What I know is that it doesn't record 50mm, it's a little bit closer, but with full frame cameras it records 50mm. Fourth is that the 50mm is beautiful with portraits. Anybody you ask, they will tell you that the 50mm is like the best lens for portrait, affordable lens, because this lens only costs $125, and that's why I invested and I brought this lens, and that's why I'm falling in love. I tried to record with this one today, but I couldn't. That's why I had to put this one on. But I'm gonna tell you why later. But with this 18 to 55mm, it takes good pictures and videos. But the thing is, it doesn't give you that nice and beautiful background, crispy image. This lens does not record beautiful portraits like the 50mm. Fifth is that this 50mm lens records beautiful in low light because it opens really wide, and that's why it brings in a lot of light into the lens. And that's why I recorded with this tonight, because right now I turned off all the lights and everybody is asleep in my house. With this lens, I tried to record with this lens, it's not as good, because I believe this one only have 5 f-stops or 4 f-stops. It doesn't open that wide. 6 is that the 50mm maximum aperture is 1.8, and that's why it's very good in low light, and it's also really nice for giving you beautiful crispy image, and also for that beautiful crispy blurred background that everybody wants to see in your videos and also in your pictures. Guys, I almost forgot, but the 18 to 55mm doesn't give you that crispy and blurred background. And if you guys go back and watch my old videos, you're gonna see me using this lens a lot, and the background looks normal because this one only has 5 or 4 stops, and it's not that good. I'm telling you guys, if you're gonna buy the camera by itself, only the body, and buy the prime lens for $125, better than this one, to be honest. But it's better to have it because if you're out in a place and you need this lens, but most likely I'm not gonna be using this lens at all, and I'm gonna be using that all the time. 7 is that the 50mm got an STM lens, which means that the motors inside the lens are silent, and if you're recording video and the mic is right on top of the camera, or if you're recording, with the actual mic inside the camera, the built-in mic, you won't hear the lens. But the thing is, with the 50mm lens, you actually can hear a little bit. It's not that loud, but you can still hear it. That's why this lens beat the 55mm, because this one, the 18 to 55mm, is very silent. You won't hear it at all. But you can still get away with the 50mm because it's not that loud. 8th is that both the 50mm and the 18 to 55 lens are very good at tracking your face and also keeping you in focus at all times. This lens keeps me in focus at all times. That 55mm is stealing my heart and keeping me in focus at all times. They are both very good at autofocus. Both of these lenses are beautiful in tracking my face, and I already said that, but I'm gonna say it again. I'm moving back forth, and you probably can see my face just perfect. In both the 50mm and also the 18 to 55, the focus ring is very smooth. So if you want to autofocus, you're gonna have a very sweet autofocus moment, because the autofocus wheel is very smooth in both lenses. The 11 point is that this 18 to 55 millimeter mount is not metal. This one is kind of like hard plastic, and I feel like if I drop it right now to the floor, it would crack. But on the 55 millimeter lens, it got a metal mount, and that's very good. It just shows you that they put in an effort to the 50 millimeter lens, because it's very cheap and they still gave you, you know, good quality for, you know, a very cheap price, which is $125 for a lens. Last but not least, both lenses work beautiful with EOS cameras. So any Canon camera, EOS camera, they will work just perfect. Kit lens or prime lens will both work 100% in your camera. And just saying, guys, the 50 millimeter is worth buying for $125. But nobody is complaining about this lens. This lens is very good. Any pictures you see on Instagram, you see on Facebook that has a crispy blurred background, you probably can get the same image with this 50 millimeters. And guys, I hope everybody is staying safe, and everybody should stay home and be careful. And guys, I hope everybody like my new hairstyle. You know, last week I thought about it. I was like, oh no, I can't go back on my video like that with my hair crazy. So I decided, you know, to tie it like that, and I hope you guys like it. Make sure to like this video, and guys, we just hit 100 subscribers. I can't believe this, guys. And trust me, guys, when I hit 1 million one day, I will look back at this video and be like, oh, I was so excited to hit 100 subscribers. Guys, like and subscribe on this video, and I hope everybody is staying beautiful and safe, guys. And take care and peace out.